Hello, everybody, and welcome to WDW Radio Live. Today is Wednesday, July 10th, 2013. I am Lou Mongello, your host, and this is the WDW Newscast. I'm here to help you have the best possible Disney vacation experience and bring you a little bit of Disney magic wherever you are with this live broadcast and interactive chat every Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern over at WDW Radio Live. You can also visit the website at WDWRadio.com. There you can subscribe to the podcast. Check out our new Disney in a Minute video series, multiple daily blog posts, our discussion forums, our live events, meets of the months, my trivia books and CDs and more. Again, you can find everything, including the free app, over at WDWRadio.com. This week's show is brought to you by our friends over at Audible.com, where you can get a free audiobook download by visiting audibletrial.com/WDWRadio. I'm just about to start the next in the Kingdom Keeper series on audiobook format, and there's tons of other Disney books in there as well. Again, you can sign up for free, cancel anytime. Visit audibletrial.com/WDWRadio. So let's get right into this week's Walt Disney World and Beyond news. We're going to talk a little bit about some stuff going on in the parks, some things going on in Disney in general, and then we're going to have some information about our next WDW Radio e-ticket event, including dates, events, plural, and some more. But let's start with something that's new, maybe even somewhat controversial, coming to the Disney resorts in the next couple of weeks, because there is a new sort of refillable mug program. So, if you've been on the Disney dining plan, if you've ever stayed at a Disney resort, you've been able to purchase refillable mugs that you can use for the length of your stay. Well, the new program is called Rapid Fill, and it's going to roll out starting over at the All-Star Resorts with self-service beverage locations in all of the Walt Disney World Resort hotels. Now, it's appropriate that it starts in All-Star. They originally started testing out this program back in 2011, where the refillable mugs will look pretty much the same, but they're going to have they're going to have an RFID, a radio frequency identifier, in it, which will allow you to sort of have it pre-programmed for multiple days, right? Including additional days you can add on anytime, up to 14 consecutive days. And what they allow you to do is to refill your mug, not just at your resort, but any resort, not theme park, self-service beverage station. You're also going to be able to check how many days you have left by a little LCD display on the station itself, too. You can purchase and use at any resort, and again, use them throughout the resorts. And if you are a Disney dining plan guest, you will get the Rapid Fill mug as part of the package. Now, there's been a lot of questions that I've been getting via email, on Twitter, and Facebook. Basically, what is the difference between this and the old mug system? Again, here you're allowed to choose how many days of refills you can get for the length of stay. So you can do 1, 2, 3, 10 days, however it is. Again, they started testing this back in 2011 to now really sort of limit exactly when you can use it, because the old mug system was supposed to be on the honor system, right? You only used it during the length of stay while you're at your Walt Disney World resort, at that resort as well only. So the difference is now you can also refill it if you go visit another resort as well too. If you are not a Walt Disney World resort guest, that's okay. If you visit a resort, if you go visit Wilderness Lodge or Beach Club or the Grand Floridian, one of my favorites, visit the Grand Floridian, you can buy one of these mugs and choose how many days of refills you want during that time. If you come back on a future visit, say you come for a weekend, you come back next weekend, you cannot use that same mug, right? It's got to be up to 14 consecutive days. So you can't sort of come back and refill that mug every time. Other questions is, can it be used in the water parks? Can it be used in resorts? Currently, no. It's only valid in the resorts itself. We're assuming that they're going to soon be able to add, like your ticket, a water park option as well, too. Other questions, they are not microwave safe. You can use them for hot beverages, but you can't sort of bring them home, put it in the microwave. I've gotten that question 3 or 4 times this week. But the big question, obviously, is what do they cost, right? So the prices of the mugs are going to change based on how many days you want to use it for. So it's $8.99 for 1 day, $11.99 for 2 days, $14.99 for 3 days, or $17.99 for the length of the stay. Anything up over 4 days, it's a flat price of $14.99. Now, the question that I have is, like when they were doing the early testing program, are there going to be is going to be sort of a constraint as to how often you can fill the mug up. So in previous tests, you could only fill up the mug once every 10 minutes. And the idea was to prevent people from buying one mug per family, filling it up, and then filling up a bottle or filling up a cup or filling up a thermos, whatever it is that you bring. The question I have for you is, do you like this system better? I'm sure a lot of you may say no, because it's going to enforce or force the enforcement of that honor system, right? It's going to prevent that abuse by making one person buy it. And if they do have that time constraint, which we don't know as yet, that will prevent that from happening. People sort of putting their mug under over and over again, buying one mug for all, 15 people in the family. I'm curious as to whether or not this will come to the theme parks as well. This does seem to be a resort-specific item and a resort-specific program, because they do not have refillable mugs in the parks, different than what we have over at Disneyland. I'm curious for people who are watching in the box, is this something that you would buy, right? Would you buy this for the length of stay? Would you buy it? I mean, it sort of almost doesn't make sense for a day unless you drink a lot of soda. Most sodas are probably $3 per soda. It's $9 for a day. But again, that's unlimited refills. So if you're a soda drinker, an iced tea drinker, whatever it may be, it actually does work out dollar-wise, and you get the souvenir mug to take home as well. The only thing you can't do is use it on future visits. I'd love to hear your thoughts, because I've gotten a lot of feedback, again, via the social networks as to the system that's in place, why they've changed it, and questions that people have. You can put questions in the comment section on our YouTube channel or on the WDW Radio blog. I want to go out of the parks, sort of, and I want to go west. I want to go west, young man, out to Anaheim, California, because they just announced the 2013 Disney Legends are going to be honored during the D23 Expo out in California on Saturday, August 10th at 2 p.m. at the Expo Arena in the Convention Center. They're going to continue this 26-year tradition of honoring those people that really sort of helped sort of shape and touch the company in a lot of different ways, whether it's in the theme parks, the movies, animation, actors, whatever it may be. They have done this before. It started back in 2009. It is the most coveted and highest honor that any Disney cast member could get. And they have just recently announced exactly who the legends are going to be. And I'm going to watch the chat room, because I want to sort of hear your thoughts on this in terms of who, and this is in no particular order other than alphabetical. So the first is Tony Baxter, right? You know Tony Baxter. He is legendary Imagineer, recently retired from the company. He developed Big Thunder Mountain, Journey into Imagination, Splash Mountain, countless others, New Fantasyland out in Disneyland, was with the company for 43 years, right? Tony still looks like a young guy, but he is really all about the commitment to Walt's legacy and storytelling, the attention to detail, and developing these new ideas and attractions, but still sort of combining that time-tested classic attraction design with the implementation of modern technology. I think a lot of people in the box are already saying Tony Baxter is a no-brainer to have him be a Disney legend. I think some people were surprised at almost how fast it happened, because he did just leave the company, but I think it certainly is an award that is very, very well deserved. And I've met Tony before. I've interviewed him on the show before. He is a great guy. And I think, again, he's somebody who carries over the legacy of Walt Disney, much like the second person, Colin Campbell, right? Now, that might be somebody whose name you don't recognize that much, but he also developed animated classic, theme park attraction, live action film, television, did in the theme parks, Tiki Room, Pirates, a lot of illustrations at Magic Kingdom and Epcot Center. So Colin Campbell, you may not know his work because you don't see it signed, right? Imagineers and artists don't get to sign their work. But if you are sort of a fan of the Disney legacy and Imagineering, Colin Campbell is a name that I'm sure you know very well. Anybody and everybody certainly knows the name Dick Clark, right? Not somebody necessarily associate with Disney, but remember, he's been on ABC since 1958 when American Bandstand started. ABC has been a property of the Disney company for many, many years. He went on, he produced game shows, the Golden Globes, Country Music Awards, specials, TV shows. New Year's Rockin' Eve ran from about 1973 until 2011. When he sort of gave up the reins. So Dick Clark, certainly, again, not somebody maybe you associate with Disney, but very, very well entitled to the award of Disney legend. A next one was one that surprised people, and he sort of is going to be paired up with somebody else here because Billy Crystal, right? Billy Crystal. I remember Billy Crystal from watching Soap on ABC many, many years ago, but now he is certainly well known in the Disney circles as the voice of Mike Wazowski from Monsters, Inc., and most recently Monsters University. You certainly remember him from When Harry Met Sally, The Princess Bride, City Slickers. He won 6 Emmys, a Tony Award. He's been on ABC TV, hosted the Academy Awards for many, many years. So we know him probably most from Monsters, Inc. Some people say, well, it's sort of early, but if you look at past Disney legends, you don't have to have a legacy of decades of contributions. It can just be, remember last time at the Expo, a lot of princesses were brought in as Disney legends, including people like Annika Noni Rose from Princess and the Frog. John Goodman is next. You know, he sort of pairs up with Mike Wazowski because he's James P. Sullivan. He's Sully from Monsters, Inc. He was also in The Big Lebowski, The Flintstones, but he was in other Disney films as well, too. You might not sort of think of John Goodman in Disney terms because it was Touchstone Pictures, like Stella, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, Confessions of a Shopaholic. The next one is the one that I was really most excited to see because when he passed away a number of years ago, I talked about his impact on the Disney company because Steve Jobs didn't just change the world of consumer electronics, and it was the founder of Apple, but this sort of marriage that's been happening between, you know, Disney and Pixar and Steve Jobs and Apple and what that future could potentially may have been and still might be. I think Steve Jobs has had a very much of an influence on the Disney company. Certainly, he was an early investor and chief executive of Pixar. He was the Disney company's largest shareholder when it acquired Pixar back in 2006. He was an advisor to the company until he passed on in 2011. And I think sort of that philosophy of Steve Jobs, look, I think not to compare, but to sort of analogize Steve Jobs very much like a Walt Disney in terms of how his contributions literally have changed the face, right? We all have iPhones, iPads, iMacs, MacBook Airs, whatever it may be. He's changed the face not just of consumer electronics, but pop culture as a whole. Another name you might not know is Glenn Keane, unless you're a fan, as many of us are, of early Disney animations. He was an animator back in 1974, did a lot of popular characters like Penny from The Rescuers, Elliot from Pete's Dragon, one of my favorites, Ratigan and Great Mouse Detective. He was Beast. He really did a lot of the designs on Beast in Beauty and the Beast. I know a lot of guys who I'm friends with who are artists and Imagineers for the Disney company. They talk about Glenn Keane being one of, if not their favorite, of all the animators. He did title characters, Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Pocahontas, Tarzan, and he was also a supervisor in Tangled. And finally, Ed Wynn, right? Again, Ed Wynn, you're like, I know that name. Where do I know him from? You know him from Broadway, classic Disney films, Mary Poppins, right? That Darn Cat, Absent-Minded Professor, Son of Flubber, and also, and for a lot of people, the voice you're going to recognize is that of the Mad Hatter in Alice in Wonderland. So now sort of you can sort of associate that sort of odd, funny voice that Ed Wynn had. Every honoree is going to get a 2-foot-tall bronze sculpture. They're going to have a ceremony there, and they're also going to have their bronzed prints put in the Disney Legends over at the company's, in Legends Plaza over at the corporate headquarters. If you are going to be there at the D23 Expo, you are going to have an opportunity to watch the ceremony. It's going to be a first come, first served basis. There's 4,000 seats at the Expo Arena. They're also going to simulcast it to the 2,000 seat Overflow Theater inside the Convention Center. And we're probably not going to be able to broadcast it, but I do want to just also mention too that if you can't make it out to the D23 Expo, I'm going to be there, and we will be there live again all 3 days from August 9th through the 11th. I'll be broadcasting live from our booth. I'm sharing a booth once again with Mouse Fan Travel. We'll be broadcasting all 3 days live. We want to bring the expo to you. If you can't make it out there, we've got a lot of fun, interesting things planned, interviews, special guests, games, contests, ways for you guys to win, even if you can't get out there as well. And again, you can find that over at D23ExpoLive.com or WDW Radio Live. We'll have more information as we get closer. Again, that's August 9th through the 11th. I'm trying to watch and see the comments about those people who were inaugurated or going to be inaugurated as Disney Legends. If I didn't get a chance to read your comment live on the air, please continue to leave them on the YouTube channel or on the WDW Radio blog. And finally, last bit of news this week is not about something Disney World specific, but I want to sort of give you guys the exclusive first look at information about our next WDW Radio e-ticket event, right? And I'm proud to announce that this is the second annual e-ticket event, or should I say events plural, because last year we kicked off a new annual event with the Evening at the American Adventurers Club, right? And this sold-out event included a private dinner and performance of the Preservation of Secret Society of Historical American Adventures inside the American Adventure Pavilion. We had a great time, a show that Disney had never put on before and has never done since, from what I understand. This year, we're going to go bigger and better because we're going to have a weekend-long series of events, plural. And here is the rundown for you. From October 4th through the 6th, same as Tower of Terror weekend, we're going to have a series of fun, unique events. We'll be kicking things off with an opportunity for you to truly be in the movies, because we're going to kick off Friday, October 4th with a great movie ride dinner. We're going to have a food and wine event on Saturday and Sunday, our first annual mini golf tournament on Friday. We're going to travel inside the movies for an exclusive private dinner inside the great movie ride. We're going to travel through the classic scenes in motion picture history, maybe meet some of the characters that are involved in them as well. We'll dine in the Wild West. We'll stroll through some other legendary scenes as well. And of course, you can't have dinner without a very special dessert party. It's going to be an evening of excitement and, as always, a few surprises as well. On Saturday, stay tuned. I'll have more details about our Food and Wine Festival event during the day on Saturday, October 5th. Again, the Tower of Terror 10 miler is that night. We'll have plenty of time if you are going to run or cheer or attend the party. We're going to do something in Epcot Center, specifically around the Food and Wine Festival. And Sunday, October 6th, this is an idea that I have been playing around with literally for years. I am excited to finally kick off our inaugural. Look, I am not built to be an athlete. I cannot golf for the life of me, but you put a windmill in front of me, that's right in my wheelhouse. So this is going to be our inaugural WDW Radio mini golf tournament at Winter Summerland. That's going to be Sunday, October 6th at 10 a.m. We're going to have exclusive use of the entire Winter Summerland mini golf course for a golf tournament to benefit the Make-A-Wish Foundation of America. We'll have teams of 4 playing for fun and a chance to compete for the coveted or not so coveted trophy. And again, I will have more information and details about this and other events coming soon. I am happy to say that we are sponsored by our good friends over at mousefantravel.com. And listen, if you are coming down to Walt Disney World that weekend, don't forget, it's Food and Wine Festival. It's the Tower of Terror 10 miler, and Mouse Fan Travel actually has some specially discounted rooms just for attendees of the e-ticket event. I will put a link in the show notes this week, or you can visit mousefantravel.com. I hope you can join us for this weekend of fun event. Again, tickets for the event will go on sale probably for the Great Movie Ride Dinner, probably next week. Stay tuned to Twitter. I'm at Lou Mongello on Facebook.com/Lou Mongello. I will have information about exactly when those tickets will go on sale. They are very, very, very limited. Like the American Adventures event last year, they will go very fast. So hopefully you guys can join us again. That is going to be October 4th through the 6th, 2013. Great Movie Ride Dinner, a food and wine special event, and a chance to play in our first annual mini golf tournament for fun and prizes, and again to benefit the Make-A-Wish Foundation of America. That is going to do it for this week's show. Please be sure and join us every Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern over at WDWRadioLive.com. Visit the website over at WDWRadio.com. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. Rate and review the show there. Please help spread the word. Tell your friends. Let others know about it, and visit us every single week. Be sure and also check out our YouTube channel at youtube.com/WDWRadio, and check out our new Disney in a Minute video series where I take you throughout the theme parks, the resorts, downtown Disney, water parks, and more. Introduce you to some of the hidden treasures, overlooked experiences, and tips and secrets to get the most out of your Walt Disney World vacation, all in just about a minute's time. That is going to do it for this week's show. I am Lou Mongello. Thanks so very much for watching. Have a great week, everybody. So until next time, see ya.